Yeah, you may be looking at Texas City off on the left, which is actually mostly refineries. You can see tons of tanks that are down there, oil tanks in that area.
That must be where I'm at, Nick. There are lots of tanks and different things. Big oil port, I guess.
I wonder if they have a military ship or something over there at Texas City. I'm not sure. I think I see where you're looking though.
Yeah, it looks like I see a military ship. You know, it's again, it's photogrammetry, so it's
right
sunk in, but it looks like it might be some type of possibly a military ship. Right now, it looks more like a submarine because it's underwater.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. I'm not sure. Well, I guess they have to handcraft those areas to fix them, and they haven't done that apparently here. Yeah, one of the bridges I see coming out of, or actually the one that would be coming out of Galveston is underwater.
Yeah, part of it's underwater, yeah. I saw that too. Yeah, well, that one I definitely recognize that ship as an old tanker. A couple of big old tankers.
Ya me dijiste, déjalo ahí, ya, por favor, déjalo ahí, cómetelo pues, sírveme mi vaina y déjalo ahí, ya hiciste tu trabajo, servilo, hiciste tu trabajo ya, lo demás déjalo, ocha madre, hiciste tu trabajo, serviste la vaina ya, déjalo ahí pues.
LOD loading distance is not terribly great. I've got to, in order to see photogrammetry buildings, I've almost got to be up on them.
But photogrammetry, at least what I've always seen, it's not real good up close. You know, it works best about a couple thousand feet up. As far as being all full, making it look realistic.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm 1,500 feet up.
Yeah, when you get down right on top of it, it's kind of like apocalyptic.
Serviste la vaina, ya hiciste tu parte, ya, quédate tranquila.
Weird design, but actually, I guess a byproduct of photogrammetry.
It's pretty much what you see all along this seawall are lots and lots of hotels. And then
hiciste tu parte, serviste la vaina, ya no tienes que hacer más nada, quédate tranquila.
I'm flying over something that looks like maybe a resort of some sort. It's got 3 pyramids. It's right by the airport.
Oh yeah, I see what you're looking at.
Está dañándome mi grabación. Ocha. Estoy sumando en mi YouTube y tú me estás jodiendo. Déjame sumar.
That's actually Moody Gardens is what that is. Yeah, if you Google it, you can see real pictures of it. That is Moody Gardens. It's a touristy place where a lot of people go.
And then we got another pier, just like a smaller one, but it's all trees.
Yeah, I'm going to drop down all the way down close to the water now and see what the seawall looks like.
Seawall just stop all of a sudden?
Yeah, what you've got a road that actually follows right here on the east side against the coast, and just past the road is where the seawall is. And yeah, there's not that many people parked there now. This may be a wintertime picture that they took, I'll bet, because normally it just car all over the place.
Yeah, and if you go west a little ways down that seawall, it just abruptly stops. And then that looks like you got a bunch of condominiums possibly with beachfront. They don't want the seawall there, I don't guess.
Well, maybe not. Though the seawall was mainly there trying to protect the city, obviously. Because when the hurricanes come through, they get huge waves. Yeah, I'm just passing that amusement park pier. Yeah, I see what you mean about how it looks like it's got water around it. Yeah, there's also,
Galveston.
yeah, and then on the east end of the city, as you, in fact, we're actually going to fly out that way when we leave. We're going to be flying out to the east and working our way towards Louisiana. And I see on the east end, you see where the highway ends on one side and starts up again on the other side. The bridge is gone. The Causeway Bridge, I don't even see it there. But that's funny because it looks like photogrammetry scenery, I think.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. You can tell by the trees how they look, little like blocks, bushes and shrubs, like those rectangular blocks and various shapes, geometric shapes. But you can actually recognize the buildings if you knew what they were down here. Even some of them, I can almost see the names in the photogrammetry.
Actually, if you're using Little Nav Map with the Google edition, you actually can zoom all the way in and can read names, and they'll tell you what you're looking at.
Just the buildings themselves. You know, just read the names.
Yeah, sometimes you can see the names on the buildings. Oh, I know what one of the things is down here. They've got an oil derrick that was probably being worked on right near the ships area, and you can see the three feet that are sticking up high in the air, because what they do is when they take it out, they float it out to where they're going. They fill the feet full of water and sink them to put the thing on the ocean floor. So that's why it looks like it's got big feet on it. So that's an oil derrick, and it's just covered in trees. Yeah, their tree algorithm is just way too, it is too strong. I wish they would pull that back.
Yeah, I'm hoping one of these days they'll run back and send some kind of repass over all that stuff and clean up, especially big cities like New York and Houston. And they just get trees everywhere down the main streets.
If that's interesting that there's an oil tanker down here. I see that's not real far from that oil well. It does not have any trees on it at all.
Yeah, if you come down, you'll see this blue. It's a light blue and a darker blue ship. It's got ARC on the side of it. Doesn't really look like an oil tanker. I guess looks like it's got, I guess, a cargo ship of some sort, but I'm not sure what ARC.
Yeah, I'm sure they do bring, I'm sure they bring cargo in here as well as oil. In fact, you can tell they do cargo, looks like pretty much on the right side is cargo and possibly cars. They might bring cars into this port too. And then they got, yeah, there's a big rail yard down here also.
It looks good when you do higher than when you low.
Yeah, sometimes the photogrammetry does that. I think it does sometimes look better than it does when you're right down on it. Everything looks kind of blotchy.
Yeah.
And it seems like if you're up at about 2,000 feet, it looks much more realistic. Yeah, they've got a cargo ship down there that's right up against the dock as well, with these open. You can see like open areas. I don't know if that they could have grain in it, or any one of the number of things in it.
Jetlink 15701, you are 14 miles northwest of Kilo Golf Lima Sierra. Contact tower on 120.575 when inbound.
This is where we end up. Our tour for the day is here at Galveston, and we'll start up at this same airport next Tuesday, provided that they're not going to update us. I don't think it's going to be next week. I think they said they're moving it out 2 weeks, so we probably will fly next Tuesday. The week after, I'm going to wait to schedule that one, because I think what I'm going to see, I think they're going to push Sim Update 10 on that on 2 weeks from today.
Yeah, they originally said 2+ weeks, so they didn't really put a deadline. But that was right before they did release a DirectX 11 update. That does seem to have helped a lot of people.
Are people still complaining about 12, or is it mainly 11?
Well, the problem they had before was everybody was getting they came out with the very first update, Sim Update 10 version 1, and it had great performance for the majority of people. Everybody was praising it, and then they come out with the next beta update, and it took it all away, and it's been that way ever since until this last update. No, the original one, DirectX 12, other than the anomalies in the graphics, ran great for me. It actually made my system run cooler and better than ever, but they couldn't get rid of those graphic anomalies, so they turned off a major setting, for memory management, and that was really what trashed everything. And they're working with NVIDIA now to try to fix that, and they'll probably get it back to where it was. But it is better than it has been, but not as good as it was originally. Well, it was a fun flight, Carl. Appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I had never been down here, so now I feel like I've been to Houston and Galveston. Oh, well, I've been to Houston. I hadn't been to Galveston.
Yeah, it gives you, Galveston's actually a pretty nice place to go, but you don't come to Galveston to go to the beach, because if you do, you better bring a pocket full of quarters, because you're going to have to walk back up to your car and put money in meters all day.
Yeah, don't they have like tons and tons of offshore rigs out there too?
Probably, yes.
Yeah, that's what my wife, she went down there with my son for a wedding. That's what she said. She could smell the oil everywhere.
Yes, and where you really smell it is Texas City. Texas City, as we were coming down the highway and fixing to cross the bridge to come to Galveston, that's where the refinery is. And yes, it smells like oil down here all the time. It really does. Now once you get past the causeway and actually get out here to Galveston, that oil smell goes away because most of the time you get wind off the water.
Yeah, I was born in El Dorado, Arkansas, which is very south part of Arkansas. And it was an oil boom town. I didn't live there but a couple of years as a baby, but my grandmothers, both of them lived there, and we would always go to visit them, several times a year. And that's all I can remember is when you get close to El Dorado, you start smelling the oil, that brackish water. And it's kind of impermeated everything around there.
Yeah, I wonder was OJack 10 in the Discord? Do you know? We got a guy fairly close to us in a 172. Looks like he's coming into land. I'm just wondering if he wasn't here on Discord. I wonder if I should give him an invite. I've seen the tag. I don't know if I've seen him flying with hype. OJack is a very familiar tag to me. I've seen him, but I don't know if he is in the I don't guess he's in the Discord.
How would you invite somebody?
Actually, believe it or not, you can do it. Well, there's two different ways. You either have to be able to identify
formation.
About 6 miles to go.
There's a big airport here.
Yep, that's a decent sized GA field, that's for sure. About 4 miles to go. And I think it's probably the bunch of buildings right here that's going to be on my right wing, I think. As we go over, I think it's unfortunately they don't actually model it. I wish they did. It's actually on 5th Street. Is where it is. It's gonna be, let's see here, it's probably gonna be on my left wing coming up in about 30-40 seconds. Okay, I can tell where the concrete is. It's, don't know if you guys will see this or not. If you're near me, it's just past this little like a finger lake right down here, this little pond, and then there's a great big white building, and it looks like it has another building off on the right side of it, a couple of buildings, and like a parking lot down there. That's where it is, but they haven't modeled it. Yep, because that would have been it. I just flew over it. I've got 39.3 right now, so we just went over it. And now as we change course slightly to 85 degrees, to an 85-degree radial, that will take us up here to Houston Hobby. And Houston Hobby is probably one of the bigger airports. It's not the biggest one in Houston, I don't think. But you can see downtown Houston kind of off out your, looking out your window to the left a little bit, you can see downtown Houston in front of us. Which kind of explains, Houston is a really, really big city. They have awful traffic down here. They've got a couple of loops that actually go all the way around, highways that actually go all the way around the city, and the traffic is just horrendous at rush hour. And eventually we're going to come up here to Hobby Airport and make a turn back over to the coast, and we're going to go back to Galveston. And Galveston has a beach area that you would not believe the crowds they get down there. What happens in Galveston, they've got like a seawall down there, which is kind of to protect the city. It has steps on it that are kind of, I don't know, walled up, maybe 15 or 20 feet tall. It's nothing more than a staired wall to try and prevent hurricanes from coming across and destroying Galveston. And on the top of that wall, you have roads that are right up against it. They put parking meters there and charge you by the hour to park at the beach. So you can park your car right at the top of that seawall, walk down about 20 steps down, and then walk across the beach to get to the water. And it is always really, really crowded down here. And I'd be willing to bet that what I'm looking at off to my left might be the okay, which that is Aviva Stadium.
120.05.
That's a big city there.
Bravo, November 2.
Houston is huge.
Norman Islander, Bravo, November 2, 1,000 feet.
Soco, Norman Islander, Bravo November 2, Houston approach altimeter 29.90. Continue misled.
In fact, I would imagine that Houston is probably bigger than Dallas. I'm pretty sure it is. Trips, no doubt. See you later.
Well, Carl, when you did all your reinstalled, was everything still there as far as your settings and all your achievements and so forth?
Yes, that I had no effect. My log and everything was fine. In fact, all my Alpha Bravo, all my controller settings and everything were still there, even though I physically completely erased Flight Sim. So that means they are saved on the cloud.
Yeah, that's what every time I've had to do it. A couple of times I've done it, it's always been there too. One time I did like you, I just totally wiped everything out. The other time I just basically did a reinstall on top of it. When I came out of beta, I do anything particular as far as getting rid of the old files.
I maybe should not have gotten that impatient. It's possible it was only a server issue, and maybe I kind of took things too hard doing that reinstall. It may be something I didn't really need to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts anything though. You know, at least it gets everything clean and not any junk taking up any space.
Well, you know what? I'm not so sure that I think Flight Sim tends to hold on to a ton of old stuff, because when it downloaded, I was kind of watching it. I'd watch in the directory as the files were coming down, and I would see all kinds of, in some cases there were 15 or 20 different patch files from different versions. It's like all the patch files came in and then it updates the whole thing. So I don't know if it still pulled down all of those old files at the same time.
Yeah, it's so complex. It's almost a miracle that it even works, especially the VR.
Watching to see if my needle's going to start to move. I know I'm not terribly far from Bernard, and my instructions are pretty much saying that I think we're going to wind up over it. It says when we get to East Bernard, we're going to need to fly to intercept the 87-degree radial from ELA, and actually that's what we are doing right now, is waiting for that radial to intercept. We know right now we are still to the right of the course that we need to be on. We're going to turn east, but we still have to go a little farther north before we make that turn. Kind of what we've been doing by working our way up past these little towns kind of to the northeast. Where we are actually going to wind up at is Houston. Houston is not right on the coast of Texas. It's actually inland a little ways, and Galveston is actually more or less south.
Like they have a flight school here too.
How can you tell that?
I've got my little nav map set to Google Maps.
Oh, okay.
Right into my tablet on the H145. Flying services.
Oh, actually, Quebeca is the other airport. That's the dirt strip, I believe.
Yeah, okay. Right here.
It's close, actually. It's not far from here, though. What's that?
Oh, wrong button. I'm trying to establish the hover and I hit the altitude.
Oh yeah, you've got lots of choices on that autopilot. Take a look behind me, seeing if everybody's moving. Hopefully we're not running off and leaving somebody, but that could always catch up. Back into the air and head northeast. Highway's right close by. We just hop back on 59 and head northeast.
Well, these little rain showers you can see all the way out in the distance. You know, it looks just like it would look in Texas. It's flat, so flat you can see them a long ways off.
Yeah, down here it is definitely flat. We can see the highway diverge a little bit off to the left again, and here's one of our little towns, Ganado. Looking down at the little town as we're going through there, they might not have many traffic lights. They might have one in the center of town, maybe.
Houston Center, Simcoe, Norman Islander, Bravo, November 2 is typewritten Norman Islander, 4 miles southwest of Tango Sierra 08700 feet. Request flight following.
Simcoe, Norman Islander, Bravo November 2 Houston Center. Squawk 5057.
Squawk 5057, Simcoe, Norman Islander, Bravo, November 2.
Simcoe, Norman Islander, Bravo November 2 radar.
I wonder if this weather's going to get nastier as we're going north.
Looks like it, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if I have any working, probably don't have working weather radar in this airplane yet. Triton could probably tell us if are there a bunch of little storms, or does it look like it gets worse in front of us?
Well, I am in my B-35 Bonanza, and it doesn't tell me. I don't have the weather radar.
Oh, it doesn't have the weather radar?
Actually, looking at the weather is rain, a lot of rain coming up.
Well, rain. At least it's not freezing.
My radar shows out past 25 miles.
Yeah, actually, South Texas is getting quite a bit of rain today in real time because the storms that got us were kind of moving southeast from Dallas-Fort Worth. So yeah, Southeast Texas will be getting rain today.
Yeah, on mine, I'm of course in the beta, and right off to my left wing, probably no more than 3 miles. Big downpour going on. Just a huge column of rain, just like it looks like in real life. It's really impressive.
A lot of these going past another little town, and they really are very small. They don't even appear. I don't know if they. Well, yeah, there's a school down there. Oh, there's even a football field down there.
Which town are you over right now?
Let's see here. What is this? Lodi?
Lodi or Lodi?
I have to change my scale to read the name is almost covered by the airport that's down, the ranch airport that's down there.
Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted.
What, did you crash into a power line? I don't see any rain immediately close, but it looks like there's a pretty hard shower off to the northeast of us.
Comes the rain.
I wonder if my live weather is lying to me a little bit, but I do see hard rain off to my left. Let's see, we're coming up on Wharton, and at Wharton we want to change our heading to 3 degrees. It's a little ways up. I'm still a little ways away from it, but at Wharton we're going to turn to the north. Yeah, originally I hadn't completely planned on this part of the flight all being predominantly visual, but the way it kind of wound up, there's not a whole lot of VOR coverage down here, so visually was really the way to go.
Yeah, it's showing up now.
I'm starting to pick up some turbulence from the rain nearby. Passing over El Campo. And I'll bet El Campo's football team probably dominates the other little towns in the area.
Ay, papá, ahora
They're a
todo se te
little
está
bigger
cayendo,
town. They
papá.
get more country boys to pick from. I know why my airplane feels a little bit squirrely. I've got a 10-knot tailwind pushing me. Probably means there's probably a low in front of us with all this rain. You say y'all are already in the rain?
Big time.
And I'm not in it yet, but I'm going to be, as I'm coming up on Wharton, and I'm going to make this change to the left to about 3 degrees. And I guess the reason I put that down there is because there's actually a split in the highway. 59, there's a fork in 59 that's probably 59 business that would go off to the right, and we're going to follow 59 itself off to the left. So I'm right over Wharton. Here, so we're going to go north about 3 degrees, and we're going to kind of sort of follow Highway 60.
Flight for Sumco Norman Islander Bravo November 2. Houston approach Sumco Norman Islander Bravo November 2 1,000 feet.
And we're going to want to turn to 116.4. for the ELA VOR. We've got a 5-knot wind out of the west. Guy in here with an extra. I don't know if he's in the Discord. I'm iced down. And I know, as Iceman would say, you don't need no stinky runway.
That's right. I don't need no sneaky runway.
Coming in for landing.
Try and get off of the field here. Looks like I'm at a turn-off point. I'm almost clear.
Norman Islander, Bravo
I'm
November,
off.
2 contact Houston Center on 135.05. Good day.
I'm parked.
We take 5 or 10 minutes or so. Like I said, I'm going to go put my tea together. It's sitting there waiting for me. Got a bunch of guys out here with A320s out here, not too far off. I can see their tags. The airline flyers who aren't going to see the scenery like we will. Actually, we're probably running a little slower than what you're normally doing, Iceman.
Really, I've run about 120.
Might as well give Iceman a plug. If you guys don't know about Iceman, I know some of you do, who fly with Iceman already. I also am known to fly with his group. He is trying to fly around the world in a helicopter, in an H-145. And if any of you guys are H-145 flyers, in fact, even if you're not an H-145 flyer, if you like to fly during his time of day, where he takes off at noon Central, what, 1 p.m. Eastern, am I correct, Iceman? I think you take off at... And we're actually coming up on Edna right now. And you're gonna know also that you're in Edna because there is an airport up here on the far side of the town. Now, if you got POIs off, you won't really know that until you see the runway. In fact, that might be a dirt runway here. I'm not sure. Little nav map is showing that as green, so it might be a dirt runway.
Oh, Echo 5.
Let's see here. Is that Echo 5? I'm not. I think so, yeah.
Delta Victor, you are 9 miles west of Kilo Victor
Yep, it's 4967 grass strip, 1432.
Yeah, I'm over it now. Looks like dirt, maybe.
Yeah, it might be either.
Yeah, it's like a little
Yeah, you're
on
on
dirt and grass.
Yeah, kind of both.
But this also shows you the example how the highway kind of makes a left-hand jog and runs around the town, whereas if you were to fly through the town of Edna, you would have like something that would be called 59 business, and it essentially, if you fly straight through the town on the main drag, eventually you'll get to the other end of the town and the highway will merge back with it.
Yeah, that small airport would be what the crop duster airport had for all the farmland.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
Oh no, I'm gonna circle around and do a little touch and go at it. I flew right over it. And I have found the brain.
Get ready to make the left base in the 26R.
Sometimes with these little towns, about the biggest thing that you can usually identify, and I didn't see it as we were passing over, normally you will find a high school football field. Down here in the little towns, high school football is a big deal. They don't have a whole lot of other entertainment, so each of these small communities will probably get together on Friday nights, and they'll have their high school football games and something to draw the community in, and for a little entertainment value. And but there might be a decent chance that people in the U.S. who, whatever cotton shirt they might be wearing, or underwear or socks or what other things might be made of cotton, a lot of those things may have come from down here in South Texas, because they just get huge amounts of it down here.
And if you've ever picked it by hand, it will tear your hands up. Those husks have sharp points on them.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, I really don't think they use manual laborers to pick that anymore. I don't think. I think nowadays it's all gone to mechanization. Now, as far as some of the fruit and veggies down here, now that's a different story. Those are, and most of the fruits and vegetables that are grown down here in South Texas are more to the northwest, in the what they refer to as the valley, and this is the South Valley. Up in the South Valley area, we get tons of melons, lots of watermelons, and different grapefruit. Oh, grapefruit is big down here. Grapefruit, watermelons, cantaloupes, things of that, and a lot of that stuff even comes from Mexico, for that matter. But a bunch of it comes down from the south, comes up to us from the South Texas Valley. Here, still got about 25 miles to, I've got 25 miles on my DME as far as where I'm located. I don't know about where you guys are with the beta guys.
23 miles.
Okay, you're a little bit ahead of me. But yeah, we'll get up here once we, let's see here, my instructions are saying that when we're about 6 miles out, we will be over Victoria. So I guess with the airport must be a little bit to the north. And when we, Victoria, the actual airport, Kilo Victor Charlie Tango, the Victoria Airport is going to be about 4.5 miles away at about 45, 46 degrees from the VOR. And if some of you guys are ahead of me in the lead or whatever, you can always take the time, do a touch and go. Give you a little bit of excitement for takeoff and landing. But also when we do get to Victoria, from Victoria we are going to be looking for Highway 59, which is going to be going to the northeast. And it'll be pretty obvious. There's, as you see looking down here, there are a lot of dirt roads and back roads, you know, that are kind of related to most of the farms that are down here. But once we get up to Victoria, there's not a great deal of highways. So when we hit Victoria and then go northeast, it's going to be pretty obvious which one Highway 59 is, which road is Highway 59. Then you just have to kind of have a map to show you, well, what communities are on there. Because down here in South Texas, we're lucky enough that it's so remote down here. You will have a lot of farms and everything in between, but you'll know when you get to a community. Because sometimes these communities also will have kind of a little twist in the road that you might even have a small loop or something, or a business part so that slides off of the road to the left or the right to go into these little towns, so you can tell where the towns are located. Because once we start north, we're going to be looking for, we're going to go north on 59, we're going to pass Telferna, Shell, El Toro, and also Edna. And we'll pass through these small communities, and they are really small down here in South Texas. And I don't know about what y'all may use as a definition of a small community in your part of the world, wherever y'all are. I know we have people here from all over. In Texas, we kind of refer to these places, they used to call them one-horse town, because it used to be, you used to have, in the Wild West days, you'll have an area where you could tie up your horse in front of a business, and they would kind of say, well, if it's a one-horse town, you've only got one horse there to come in to visit. So they would call them either a one-horse town. They would also call them a one-stoplight town. And it's not unusual for a lot of the communities down here. In some cases, they might not even have any stoplights. Some of them, the highway will kind of go either through, or it'll have a main street going from the highway over to the square, and they might have one traffic light. So I use that one traffic light definition, or sometimes they might only have one four-way stop sign where traffic will stop going through the center of these small towns.
Well, I was looking at that canal. Looks like that across this waterway from one lake to another. I'm curious what Is that a navigation traffic of some sort, or is that
I don't think it's navigation. If anything, it is probably for irrigation. It's probably done for irrigation purposes. Is probably what it's for. In fact, I can see a creek winding around on the left side.
yeah?
And yeah, they'll pull water from the rivers and things. They do get, well, normally they get a pretty good bit of rain down here. Now somebody may come on from South Texas and challenge that remark. Occasionally they are dry down here. In fact, this year I think